Shanell Red. I started writing songs through poetry. I started humming melodies and kind of rhyming first, and then I went into coming up with my own melodies, and then taking my lyrics and putting them to tracks. My poet name was Dynasty. Honeybee and Dynasty. I wrote a lot about love. And that's funny you would ask that, because now I have writing about love songs is my weakest thing. Now I write about everything else except for love. I guess because I had my heart broke once, just once. Love songs is like, I don't do them. I can do them, but I write everything else. Well, it's always been a passion. I know a lot of people coming up in the industry. Like, I was good friends with Force D's, LL Cool J. I really happened to listen to Angie Stone, who was a part of Sequence, as Angie B. She don't know this, but she was an inspiration for me, and I was like, wow, I want to do that. So from there, it just was a love of mine. You know what I mean? I was young. I was like 14. First song I did with Big Worm. Big Worm is now like a huge entity. He does like plays, the music for plays and stuff like that. But that was I wrote my first song with him. And that was like mad years ago. But we kept doing it because I loved it. And then I got up with my partner Tanisha, and we started writing together. I liked the chemistry, and then we just kept writing from there. In a matter of like 3 months, we got a publishing deal, $350,000. They're not giving out those now. And we didn't have one placement. Me and her was actually the first female duo to get signed to Warner Chappell. And we were like everywhere. And I think for them, that machine aspect of having two writers is what really made them buy into us. We helped the artist get a deal one time, and we got paid for it with iPods, which we should have. We were green. We didn't have a manager at that time. That's always good to either have your knowledge of, what you get yourself into, or you have a manager to kind of help you out, because you could be happy to be a part of a situation and forget everything else. You're just happy to be a part of the situation. So that's what it was with us. We lost out on a couple of things, not doing paperwork, not having proper management, thinking we knew when we didn't, and I would say to people that are trying to get in this business that having proper representation is very important, and doing your homework on what it is that you plan on doing in the music industry, whether you want to be a writer, a producer, or whatever. Just know what it is that you're getting into. I mentor a couple of songwriters in LA, Chicago, Indiana, New York, Jersey. I have a great team of songwriters that I utilize for a lot of projects. I write also, but I like the business part as well, and I'm also working on my reality show, the Writerz Rumble, for up and coming writers who want to be heard, that can't get heard, because it's hard to get in. Relationships are everything, and I love mentoring new writers. I think everybody who has made it as a writer, and actually we really haven't made it because we're still learning, we're still growing, should give back to writers that are up and coming, because we weren't given that opportunity. You know what I mean? It says, God says, share your knowledge to help somebody else gain more. You know what I mean? And that ultimately gives you more. It hasn't been hard at all. I kind of infiltrate the two. I think some of the old way needs to be transitioned into the new way, and kind of keep them both as a glue. Because right now, like look, everybody's feeding off of the whole single era. Who did the single era? Motown. Jackson 5 had 5 singles before he did an album deal. I feel like that's where this industry needs to go right now in the new, because nobody's making real money off of albums. Everybody's feeding off of the whole single thing. So I infuse the old way with the new way, and it works. Normally they just come in and sit in on a session, and they watch me work, they watch my team work, and they kind of gather like little intricate things that they need to make them better. Or we'll watch them write and kind of critique them and tell them what they need to be better. Like, I'm not real good at writing love songs, so I stick to what I'm good at. But I also practice my skills with a writer who's good at writing love songs. I sit in with them and I advise that. Like, I have writers, I wouldn't put a writer in a session of up-tempos if they're not good with writing up-tempos, until they hone in on their skill and their craft, and they kind of start building on it and make it better. As with anything, you upgrade your weakness to be your strength. Old school R&B. I love live, old school. I could do the new school, but I just love that vibe. I'm a timeless writer. I like being a timeless writer. I like 10 years from now, you can come to me and say, yo, that song you wrote back in the day with Faith Evans was crazy. You know why? And the radio is still playing it 10 years from now. A lot of this music right now, you're not going to hear that 10 years from now. Mine too. My son, my daughter, they love our era music. I remember I was working with a singing group, NJ5, and my daughter loves New Edition, and she said, Mommy, why they won't sing Mr. Telephone Man? I said, because they didn't make up Mr. Telephone Man. That was New Edition. But it just goes to show. Back in the day was more melodic, more storytelling, more substance music. Now stuff is just, some of it is good and some of it isn't. But a lot of it you won't hear 10, 15, 20 years from now. You'll still be hearing Jodeci. You'll still be hearing Mint Condition. You'll still be hearing Run DMC. You'll still be hearing Eric B. and Rakim. You'll still be hearing Biz Markie 20 years from now. Oh, wow. Okay, Faith Evans, Thank You Good Night on her new album, Monifa, I forgot the name of the song. I got so many songs in my head, I'm sorry. But we did new songs on Monifa, Faith Evans, we're working on Brandy, we're working on Mary J, we're working on Trey Songz' new album, we're working on CeeLo Green project with a couple of A&Rs from the labels that hit us up for songs, but we're just working on new stuff. But my main focus again is the Writerz Rumble. Well, I'm hoping that the Writerz Rumble comes out in the fall of 2016. We're going to be shooting everything out of Atlanta. Writerz Rumble first season is Atlanta, so I'm excited about that. There's 20 writers, 4 judges, and we're going to be battling each other to see who's going to win. It's going to be a lot of fun. We had a lot of amazing writers at the audition. It was hard to pick the 20 writers, but we did, and I'm excited about the challenges that we have going through on the Writerz Rumble for the world to get to see how writers really rock and roll. You know, because writers sacrifice. We are the head of a project. Because without us coming first, then you have the producer, then you have the artist doing the music. But the writers are important, and I need the world to see that the writers are important, and we sacrifice just as much. Just stay tuned for the Writers Rumble. Go to the website, writersrumble.com, writers with a Z. And just follow me on Instagram, Shanell Red. And then follow the Writers Rumble on Instagram. And I'll see you around. There's 20 writers, 4 judges, and we're going to be battling each other to see who's going to win. It's going to be a lot of fun. We had a lot of amazing writers at the audition. You know, it was hard to pick the 20 writers, but we did. And I'm excited about the challenges that we have going through on the Writers Rumble for the world to get to see how writers really rock and roll. You know, because writers sacrifice. We are the head of a project. Because without us coming first, then you have the producer, then you have the artist doing the music. But the writers are important.
You're so beautiful.